Okay, this video is a quick introduction to the Online Divorce Lawyer app for California lawyers in uncontested and default divorce. Keep in mind that in addition to the video, you can also come here to our top page at onlinedivorce.lawyer. Scroll to the bottom. All of this stuff here is business to consumer. You can take a look at that. And lower right, click on the lawyer page. Then additionally, take a look here. There's a lot of information that will be of interest to you if what you see in this video is of interest. That's me. You can come and take a look at About Me if you wish. Okay, we go back to the client login portal on Online Divorce Lawyer. The idea here is that you would place a button strategically somewhere on your firm's website, and once your client has retained you and paid you, you would provide access to that button. Your client would click on it. It says client login portal or something like that, and it would bring her to this page, which is the client's login page on ODL. I'll come back and show you this page and the login from it shortly. What I'm going to try to do in this interview is to lead you step by step through a typical case flow in an Online Divorce Lawyer case, and that begins with client account creation. If you drop your cursor down to the bottom of the client login page, you'll notice that the footer is a link. You click on that link and it takes you to the lawyer login page on Online Divorce Lawyer. We'll come back to this again in just a moment. I want to go to account creation first. Drop to the bottom again, click on the footer, and this takes you to your client account creation page. The first choice is between petitioner and respondent. It defaults to petitioner. ODL works equally well with respondent clients in an uncontested case. Linked accounts don't yet work. These are for our AI divorce mediation tool that will be integrated with Online Divorce Lawyer in the near future. So I'm going to enter my own name here. This would be for your lawyer password. I think I can remember what that is. You control all client access to client accounts, initially by assigning a password to the client. I'm just typing in the word password twice. You'll want to be doing something a little more secure than that. I'm going to enter my personal email there for the receipt of the client's account opening email. The last question is whether you will be the attorney of record or the case will be pro se. It defaults to pro se. Most ODL cases are pro se. You can change this later in the case, and ODL will download a fully prepared substitution of attorney. Okay, all that's filled in. Click on Create Your Client's Account. Here you will see your client's user ID, your client's password. Actually, I've got my personal account as both the lawyer's email and the client's email. By the way, no email goes to your client that does not also go to you. Those emails arrive fairly quickly. Let's take a look. They should be here. Yeah. This is the client's account opening email. The family law firm of Los Angeles is a fake firm that I made up just for demonstration purposes. You'll see here the user ID, the client's password, and a link back to that client login portal I showed you earlier. Again, I'll be coming back to that. This is your copy both came to the same inbox just because I have my personal email set up as both the lawyers and the clients. That wouldn't normally happen, of course. User ID again, client's password, and a link to the lawyer login portal. Okay, we're going to go back to the client's email, and we're going to click on that, and there is the client login portal that I showed you earlier. Not going to log into the account that we just created because, of course, it is a blank account. Instead, I'm going to log into one of our Sandbox accounts, and this will show you what the client sees when the client logs in. On the very first login of the client, this link right here that says Continue Interview will say Begin Interview. The client will click on that, naturally enough, and be taken to the very first interview page, namely this one right here. We'll click directly on that, and that's the first client interview page. There are basically two ways for the client to navigate the interview, either by completing each page with the data requested and then clicking on one of the next buttons. On every interview page there are two next buttons, one top and one bottom. When you click on the next button, it will check for completion. It'll let you know if anything is missing. It will save that data on an encrypted connection to our US-based server, and it will move you manually to the next page in sequence, which of course is your spouse partner's name page. Alternatively, the client can also maneuver around the interview simply by clicking on pages in the client menu on the left side of a desktop or laptop screen and go directly to the page selected. The system allows the client to jump around as much as possible. In some instances it's not possible because a few of the pages lower down on the client interview menu rely on information entered in earlier pages in the interview. If the client runs into something like that, as soon as she gets to that page, there's a warning that tells her, hang on, we can't handle this page yet. You have to go back to such and such a page and complete that. So those are the two ways the client maneuvers through the interview. In preparation for this video, I came into this account earlier and I went to the respondent's address page and deleted his zip code. So this simulates a client not being able to remember perhaps the respondent's zip code. She goes away, comes back, all of her data is saved, of course. She comes back, logs back in. She could either, from that welcome page, she could either have clicked on Continue Interview, which would have taken her to the first interview page that needed attention, namely this one, or as I just did, she could have clicked directly on the respondent's address page and it brought her here. Whenever data is missing from a page that you've been on before, it will tell you right here in the red error message what is missing, and then it will show you lower down from where it's missing with these red asterisks. So I'm going to add back in the state and a Hemet zip code. If you want the respondent's street address to be the respondent's mailing address, you would click this button here. It populates that for you. You can see the red error message is gone, and watch the respondent's address link in the menu. You'll notice that the check mark is returned to that box, because when you click the next button or click on one of these pages, it doesn't matter which, again it checks for completion, saves on an encrypted connection and moves you to the next page in the sequence, which is residency, and you can see respondent's address has been completed. Okay, I want to show you now download. So this is the lawyer login portal. You can see that you have two options here. You can log into the download panel for obvious purposes, or you can log into the control panel. You tend to develop a way to do it, it depends on whatever you want to do. Obviously, if you only want to download, then you log into the download panel. Otherwise, it doesn't matter that much. Okay, I thought I had remembered the lawyer password. Okay, you can see that I've logged into the control panel, but it's one click to the download panel. That's the download panel. Case stats here that you'll be entering as you proceed through the case. For example, when the case is filed, you'll get the case number, the filing date. When jurisdiction is acquired, you'll enter the date of service here, date of entry of judgment, and you'll save the case stats as you proceed. And no download is available right now because the client interview is incomplete. Let's go back to the control panel, and you can see, in fact, that the client interview is now complete. All interview pages are marked as complete in green. The control panel is the bird's eye view of the case. A lot of data here. Some of it, if it is a simple change, you can actually make changes right here on the control panel. For example, and a good example of that is the marital settlement agreement. Let's say the client requested one. Now the respondent won't sign. She calls in and makes you aware. You would come to the control panel and save the MSA requested indicator as no, and that changes it back in the interview. I don't want to do that right here because I do want to demonstrate the marital settlement agreement download to you shortly. All of these indicators have links back to the interview pages on which the data in question originates. So date of separation would be back on whatever page that takes you to. Let's see, plenty of other information on this page. Like I say, bird's eye view of the data, private message for the client, your own private case notes that the client never sees, a bunch of stuff with child support. Lower down here we have a what if child support guideline tool. You can change the number of children, either party's net monthly, physical percentage of primary custody, and you can recompute and play what if games with the child support guideline. Okay, let's see, I want to show you how to download. Oh, first thing I need to do is to mark the interview as complete, and then when I go to the download panel, it will show that downloads are available. There are 3 batches for download. You can guess what they are. First batch filing, of course, to get the case number, get the case filed. The second batch is the petitioner's preliminary disclosure documentation and obtaining jurisdiction documentation, service of process documents in most cases. The third batch is the petitioner's default and judgment batch. You can use the drop-down list here, pick which one, click on that button, or you can go up to the menu, first batch, petitioner's first filing. It's the same thing, whichever one you prefer. I'll just click on this one right now to demonstrate batch downloading. And when you get to the download page, you've got two choices. Download form suitable for physical filing basically means you'll get 3 copies of each document for the traditional over-the-counter filing at the court. If the client has purchased a package from you that includes perhaps e-signing and e-filing, if you have a good third-party service to do that, like Direct Legal or One Legal, then you might click on suitable for e-signing, and that basically will download 1 copy of each document in the batch mode. A little slowly here, normally faster than that. Okay, there we go. It's a Riverside case at the new Menifee Court, brand new Menifee Court, and you can see that these documents are fully prepared. Even if I say it myself, they're very well prepared, and everything is ready for document review by you, discussion by you with the client of any further case strategy, any problems that have arisen, any discrepancies perhaps, anything that arises from the download and review of the first batch of documents. This is a request for waiver of fees. Everything completed. Nothing for you to do, basically. Just the client to sign and file. Okay, let's go back. I want to demonstrate now single document download. Let's say that you've downloaded the batch and the office dog ate the petition. You would come here to first batch, single doc download. Click on that. It will list all the documents in logical sequence. You want to download just the petition, download the form, and there it is. Okay, so that's that. Let's go back. I want to demonstrate a single document download from somewhere other than the first batch. Get a little deeper into the case. These are all the single documents that you can download as part of the third batch. It's always easier to do batch downloading, obviously, but sometimes documents get lost or damaged in some way. Just demonstrate a download of the judgment form itself. And there that is, all prepared and ready to go. I'll show you also, just in case you've just wondered about this, judgment attachments are there also following on, and that was the judgment form that I just clicked on. But let's say you want to do a child custody and visitation attachment, FL 341. You can do those individually. In batch mode, those get printed out as part of the batch. All right, I'm going to demonstrate that just because I've mentioned it. Let's use the drop-down list this time to download a batch, just to try to demonstrate as much as possible. Return to welcome. There's the case stats. You can actually proceed to download the third batch before you have a case number. Just don't forget, if you're just reviewing the third batch, be sure to return, enter the case number, and re-download before you file. Okay, let's go to third batch download, BOP, and that will download what is usually the largest batch. Just going to do the single copy download, and even then it's 35 pages. Judgment checklist. I won't stop on every one of these, and there you can see that the judgment attachments are included with the judgment when you do the batch download. Okay, back to I got one more thing I'd like to show you, and that's the marital settlement agreement. And there that is. You can get an MSA or a stipulated judgment depending on what's required at your local court. Online Divorce Lawyer app works in all 58 counties. What else? Anytime, anywhere, any device. All right, and there is the marital settlement agreement, fully prepared and ready for signature. Often you can see some of this stuff is nonsense. Some of it I've entered and some of it other attorneys have entered because this is a sandbox account that I make available to them. So they've gone in and entered sort of screwy stuff. But sometimes there is clearly a little bit of proofreading and customization required on the MSA. That will be the only document preparation that you'll need to do. Okay, I think I've shown you everything that I wanted. If what you've seen in this video is of interest to you, if you will please contact me. Trying to find my phone number and email for you. There you go. There are all the points of contact. If you will contact me, and I will set up for you a hands-on demo where you'll be able to log in, create accounts, log in as the client for the client's perspective, or log in as the attorney. And okay, that's it. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope it moves you towards your decision to sign up for Online Divorce Lawyer Service. Remember, it works anywhere in California. Your marketing can be statewide, and that's it. Thank you so much for watching and listening.